G'day everyone, Shad Bailey here from Collins Sane Company, just giving a quick market update or market report from yesterday's fat cattle sale over at IRLX on the 18th of June. 1,300 odd cattle pen, so that's up sort of 300 or 400 on the previous week's sale, but a very, very mixed yarding, I would state. 500 odd cows penned, or just on 500 cows penned, most of those cows being secondary. And suitable for both process or feed. Very few heavyweight cows penned, but the cows that were there were very good. We'll start with the cow market. Our heavy cows could have cheapened 20 to 25 cents. Not all processors active, and obviously a lot of processors acting at reduced rates. Once again, telling us that there are plenty of numbers running, especially north. That middle run of cows, your sort of top end trade cows, could have been, similar, 15 to 20 cheaper. Most of those cows sort of $1.85 to $2, and your heavyweight cows struggled to get over $2. Best cows to $2.15, but most of those heavyweights from sort of $1.95 to $2.05. Those sort of top end, store cows, best from out to 180 cents, but they had to be good with a bit of frame. But most of those plainer cows made anywhere from 140, 45 to 165 or 70, depending on type and quality. But then obviously there was a lot of cows once again under that, sort of making 120 to 140 cents. So those plainer lighter cows could have been 40, maybe 50 cents cheaper in places. Feeder wise, steer wise, reads a little bit dear on paper, but obviously not the run of cattle that we've seen from a better run of cattle this week from the week prior. But I'll definitely quote that cheaper. Could have been 5 or 10 cheaper at the top end. Best of the heavy feeders out to 376 or 7 cents. Similar story on those sort of top end trade steers up to 400 kilos, making similar rates, 370 to 75. But once again, that was for our better end black steers. Once you come off that, most of your trade weights, 300 to 325 or 30 cents. But if they had a bit of content, you'll under $3 very quickly. And similar side on it as export types, 330 to 340, 45 or 50 for your better end. But once again, you come back to to low $3 very quickly if you had a bit of content. Heifer wise, much similar. Could have been a few sales just a little bit dearer. One extra order in the market, and that was for a grass-fed actually processing job. Who operate on that top end heifer side. Those heavier heifers, sort of north of 500 kilos, got up to $3 and a little bit, and really didn't matter breed, long as they had a bit of finish. But your better end, feeder heifers, export and trade, sort of trading, 300 to 310 or 12 cents. But same story, as soon as you're a little bit off type and quality, or a little bit of content, boss content, 240 or 50 to 270 or 80 cents very quickly. Cattle to go back to the paddock. There were some very good cattle to go back to the paddock. Start with the steer wise. Similar story there, 360 or 65 cents, which could be 25 to 40 cheaper from our store sale on from last Thursday. But what I would say, I reckon the heifer side of things, the lead of the heifers would have been on parity to what we saw last week for the coloured cattle. Very few black heifers penned this week, yesterday, but on par, those better end British cattle with weight, north of 300 kilos, returning to those, obviously all lot feeders, all backgrounders, to similar rates to what we saw at our store sale last Thursday. So they were trading anywhere from 270 to 280 cents for the lead. But once again, a lot of these cattle to go back to the paddock, both steer and heifer, sub $3, and as low as 200 to 220 or 30 cents if you're off type. So there is some very, very, very good buying opportunities, I would say, for anyone that had a spare oats crop or so forth, and looking to put a few cattle away pre or post end of financial year. So yeah, jump on board there. We'll give anyone a ring if if you're looking to put a few cattle away, because I think there's some wonderful opportunities. But all in all, definitely a cheaper market. We've actually seen some prices here in the north now going no quote as of today. So it's very hard to put our finger on the pulse at the minute with this cattle market. as I said, it very, very hard to follow. To see rates dropping of 25 and 30 for a cow, and we saw further drops north and bigger drops in the south as well. So all in all, something to keep an eye on. Please jump on the phone. Obviously, prior to booking in cattle for weeks moving forward, because there seem to be a lot of cattle moving at present, and processors are starting to pick and choose, and rates are softening. Anyway, that's enough from me. We'll talk to you next week. Thank you.